So, Bill, obviously last week you advised President Trump to have a 30-day shutdown. You said you were speaking with the CEOs of portfolio companies, that hell is coming. How do you feel we're performing right now? Has there been a market improvement since the president and some new state governors did start to take some measures?
Yes, at the time I made my remarks, none of the states were in a shelter-in-place mode. In the beginning, the following day, that night, California, then New York, then Nevada, Ohio, Delaware, probably a dozen or more states. And I think it helps make the case I was trying to make, which is it's great that New York State has adopted this, these policies to reduce the risk of infection, because unfortunately, New York City hospitals are overwhelmed, and when hospitals get overwhelmed, people can die, and more people, some percentage will die from coronavirus. Some will die from just not being able to access an ICU bed because they had a stroke or otherwise. So it's an important step for New York. But the problem is you can't do this one state at a time. It's one of our weaknesses as a country of 50 states. It's where the federal government needs to get involved and really basically do a shutdown nationwide. And we do it for I sort of pick a 30 days, sort of 2 weeks of incubation, if you will, plus a cushion. The country doesn't get shut down in its entirety. Of course, you keep all essential businesses, infrastructure, government, pharma, food production, agriculture, all the things that you see in the kind of New York State and Ohio and other protocols. But you do it once. You do it for the whole country, and you set the clock, and you tell businesses we're going to reopen the country in 30 days. And the other thing you do is you massively accelerate testing. And one opportunity we have not yet exploited that's being exploited now in China, and there's no reason why it can't come here, is antibody testing. And antibody testing is basically a blood test, and it's much more scalable. We can test every American, and you can get results much more quickly. And there are probably 5 or 6 companies that have antibody tests going through the approval process. I know that are being tested in China. I actually spent an hour today talking to a pharma company that has a antibody test that they want to scale up dramatically, that they claim has a nearly 100% accuracy rate. So more accurate, faster testing. So envision a world in which the next 30 days, everyone shelters in place, not just 12 states, 50 states. Then we gradually reopen the country, testing everyone. And if we see what's great about a 30-day shutdown is that you shut down the virus. And you shut down the virus because the virus only survives in a host. And you eliminate human interaction, or you minimize human interaction, you minimize the transmission of a virus from one person to another. And the virus does not survive outside for more than a few days. And so, 1, you knock down the virus very aggressively. 2, you rapidly accelerate testing. You take what is an invisible enemy, as the president accurately refers to it, and you make it a visible enemy. And then you track very carefully, and you start to see an outbreak in Des Moines, Iowa, then you very quickly quarantine that particular section of the city or the whole city, and you can reopen the country. People can go back to work. You know who's sick and who's not. We protect the elderly, we protect the immune compromised, and the country's back in business.